And I'm going to say this, and I want to say when it comes to security, the security guards here do not work for the superintendent. They work for the board, and it is the chair that controls them. So if the superintendent is whispering in the chair's ear to cut my mic or motioning the security guards, it's very inappropriate. I want to bring up this last time I brought this up, I had my mic cut and and had my comments clipped. There is still this transgender and non-binary student guidelines and procedures on the website in violation of law. And if you want to say that I'm homophobic, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, because I probably spend more time with the gay community than anybody sitting up here. This though is disgusting, okay? This remains on the Broward School's website. This talks about locker rooms and changing facilities. Transgender students can have access to the locker room that corresponds to their gender identity. So we've got like that song, Boys in the Girls' Room, Girls in the Boys' Room. This is still on the website, so I assume even though the parental rights and education law bans this is still in practice at the school. Day and overnight field trips. A transgender student's comfort level with sleeping arrangements will dictate the manner in which related issues are addressed. The transgender student should be allowed to room with peers that match their gender identity. So we have boys sleeping in girls' rooms. And I'm wondering if that also applies to chaperones. Can a male chaperone be in a room with girls, little girls, if he identifies as a woman? Okay, these things, and also the athletics. We still have we have students may choose to have their parents or guardians participate in this process. However, parental guardian participation is not required. No, that is against the parental rights and education law. And then also we got transitions for grades pre-kindergarten through 5. You know, 5th grade. You know that you're not the right gender when you're that age. Seriously, and then also, staff members have the right to keep their transgender identity private and confidential. And then also, we still have transgender students, biological males, able to compete with biological females. This is all in violation of the parents' rights and education law that was signed by Governor DeSantis. It is and passed by the legislator. It also goes against the executive order to not have biological males participate in biological females sporting events. So I ask you to take this, scrap it from the website. You were put here to make some changes. Here's an easy one to make right here, because this violates the law. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Nelson, item 3, superintendent, and then you'll have item 4, chief facilities officer. So we'll break it up that way. Okay.
Thank you very much. All right. Well, let's go there then. Chris Nelson, Fort Lauderdale, and going back to this disgusting outcome of this trial from this Parkland murderer that we all saw, and Democrats and Republicans, when they're coming together and universally condemning something, then you know that something was pretty bad. But here, I've seen it over and over again. I've spent the last 2 years very involved in Broward County politics. I've talked to many of you up here, both Republican and Democrat, both sides, and I have noticed that we see Broward County in the news all the time for all the wrong reasons. And I'm tired of that, because I love my county. This is the greatest county. But what we saw with Superintendent Cartwright was she came up here and we had a completely qualified guy that we should have been begging to be our superintendent. Michael Gall, a colonel in the military, buttoned up, knew his stuff. We were so lucky to have this guy. But what happens instead? Do we go with him? No. We picked the woman, and no offense, but we picked the woman at her last school district, which that whole district could probably fit in this room, couldn't even manage that district. Okay, we pick her. And then she comes along, and the first thing she does is support these masking policies. And she did support them. Regardless, the school board did, but she also did. And we saw this misery with students not able to smile, not able to with their faces covered all day long. And now we have students throwing themselves out of third-floor windows. We have students taking their own lives. Leftist liberal policies have failed, and you are here to make some changes, so it is time to make a change. Also, the school board at the time, they changed the rules to appoint this superintendent. They appointed her interim, promised everybody that she was going to be interim, and then they changed the rules to keep her. And I'm wondering if they saw the writing on the wall and knew that grand jury report was coming down. So they changed the rules and made her superintendent. It's time for some big changes in Broward County. We saw last week, we saw many different communities coming together to say that this superintendent is not who we want. So now is the time. Now is the time to make a change. I think it would be appropriate if Superintendent Cartwright stepped down, but it is time for a change. It is time to move on, and the whole community will support you in this. I've never seen people come together like they did before. I go back again. Chris Nelson, Fort Lauderdale. So we'll start now. 2 minutes. I thought I had 3 minutes, but I guess it's down to 2 minutes now. We saw last week a situation where a qualified candidate was overlooked. This is something that happens over and over again in Broward County. Now, going back to what I was saying before, that I am tired of seeing Broward County in the news for the wrong reasons. Now, I get this. You guys do not want to go through this process of finding people. Finding people is hard. If you're going to find a new superintendent, you got to interview them and everything like that. But I would like to see you guys take some action. And it's not just me, okay? The whole community. Right now, everybody's looking at Broward County and going, Broward County always gets things wrong. Well, now we have a chance to get things right. We have a chance to make some drastic changes that need to be changed and then be in the news for all the right reasons. And you heard it from many people last week, and you're going to hear it from them again today, that people support change. And I ask you all to bravely make a stand, put it up for a vote today. Do we keep Superintendent Cartwright or not? Do we hire a new facilities director? Put it up for a vote today. I thought that the school board member over here had a very good, Mr. Foganoli had some very good things to say last week. And everybody's watching Broward County now. Are we going to keep doing business like we have before? Because we know when we have done business the way we have before, it leads to death. Kids are killing themselves. Why are they killing themselves? If these policies that have been implemented in Broward over the years work, why are we seeing this happen? Why are people so desperate and filled with despair? Now is the time to make a change, and I hope you will all courageously stand up and make the change now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.